What's going on, guys? It's Jay Camaro here with another episode of Initial Thoughts, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Revolution DLC. Now, I know this is a pretty long awaited. The DLC has been out for almost 2 weeks now, but I've really wanted to have time to go and check out all of the components of this DLC. I'm actually going to split this into two parts because this DLC is very two-sided. This first episode, I'm going to be talking about the multiplayer components, and then the next episode, part two, which I'll hopefully have in the next sometime this week. I'm going to be talking about like the zombie components. So right now you're seeing me use the Peacekeeper, which I'll talk about a little bit later, and I'm actually going to have two clips from two of the maps, but then I'll talk about all four of them, of course. So let's start out with some details of the DLC. So the Revolution map pack, or I'm going to call it DLC because it's not really just maps, it was released on January 29th, 2012, and that was only for the Xbox 360 because Microsoft has an exclusivity deal with Activision, so they won't be releasing this DLC on PS3 or PC at least until I think the end of February or the beginning of March. There's no release date for the Wii U yet, so Wii U owners, don't hold your breath on this one because you might not be seeing any DLC this year, or you might just at a later date. This is the first DLC, obviously, and it kind of replaces the whole like individual DLC trend that happened with Modern Warfare 3. This returns to the Black Ops style where there's a full DLC. There's going to be 4 of them, and they're going to be released over the course of the next year, instead of like 1 or 2 maps every month like there was for Modern Warfare 3. So it is $15 or 1,200 Microsoft points, and that's if you buy it just alone. And if you get the season pass for 4,000 Microsoft points or $50, you'll just get it included. There's no early access or anything like last year. This includes the multiplayer component includes 4 maps: Hydro, which you're seeing right now, Grind, Downhill, and Mirage. Grind is the next DLC I'm also going to be showing, just so you know. Hydro is a Pakistani, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, dam. And what's interesting about this map is that through the middle of it, there's actually like water, and there's a guy who like talks, and every probably at least once or twice every game, the water like starts to like flood. There's always water there, but it starts to like flow really fast, and if you go across it, you won't be able to you'll die. And this is actually a pretty hot point of the map, so it definitely kind of changes up your playing style. Right here, you can see it's doing it right now, and if you walk into it, you die instantly. And but it only happens for a few seconds, so you'll just be able to keep fighting. I really like this map. You've got some pretty good lines of sight, some pretty cool flanking routes, and I think this is one of my favorites of the DLC. Downhill, it's actually a ski lodge in the French Alps, and I really like that map too. It's a little bit it's a little bit bigger than on the other maps, and a little bit bigger sight lines. But there's some really cool parts of it. It's a snow map, and there's some buildings around. There's some gondolas, and actually the gondolas go through a certain like point of the map, like one going down, one going up in different directions, and if you hit one of them, you die. So there's a lot of interactive stuff in these maps and figuring out. Um, it's pretty cool. I, uh, I think that it's better suited for assault rifles rather than SMGs, which I usually use because, of course, I've been trying to get the Peacekeeper Gold, which I do have. I did get that today, and I'm actually going to try to get Diamond SMGs. I've already got 3 counting the Peacekeeper, so I'll hopefully be able to get that within the next month or so. It's a pretty good map. I always like snow maps. They just have a certain styles of them, which I like. Lots of sniping. I've definitely seen a ton of sniping on that map. That's really the sniping part of this DLC. I've mainly played the maps on Team Deathmatch, but I'm sure the play styles are changed up on either game modes. There's 3 different playlists for the DLC that you can go to in the multiplayer matchmaking list. And actually, on the Xbox 360, in the past few days, there's not a ton. It's been hovering around 10,000, which really for a DLC for a popular game like this is a little surprising how low it is. Mirage is a luxury hotel in the Gobi Desert that's kind of been ravaged by a sandstorm. This is probably, unfortunately, my least favorite map, although it's not saying a ton because I actually like all of these maps. I don't know, it just kind of seems a little boring compared to the other ones. Not as much like interactive stuff, like of course the dam flooding in Hydro, and the gondolas and Downhill. But I still think it's an alright map. There's a lot of sand, and there's some flanking routes, and there's a very there's a building that's a very highly contested area, and it's a very close quarters map. Although there is one line of sight sometimes people can snipe on, it's not really used a ton. But I think it's an alright map. It's just not my favorite. And now we're starting out on the second part of the gameplay, and we're going to be going to grind. And this one, probably from what I've like heard, is the most popular map in the DLC. And I actually really like this map. I think it's kind of tied between Hydro and Grind. That's kind of the reason I chose these two DLCs. I mean, two maps for this gameplay. I think that Grind, it has a very certain like style to it, which I really like. So pretty much, let me explain it. You're in LA and you're in the skate park, and there's like ramps everywhere, and there's a building in the middle, which you can see right here, and flanking routes just everywhere, and vans, and really cool stuff. Um, but the RC car is really cool for actually like going up the ramps. Although there's a little like it kind of like freaks out. I don't use it in this gameplay, but if you try it out for yourself, there's probably a ton of gameplays online around YouTube right now. But you'll see it kind of like spazzes out for a second. Like I don't know, it doesn't actually like. I don't think Treyarch designed the RC car to be a, a, a skateboard in a skate park. But I definitely really like that kind of feature. But all in all, I think this map is really good. You've got some medium ranges of sight, but I think that this is definitely either an SMG or a shotgun map. This is definitely the map I was playing on, trying to get my headshots with my Peacekeeper to get gold a lot. I think out of my friends, I think they definitely like this map like me too. So those are the four maps. They're all in all, they're pretty solid maps. I think that Treyarch definitely hit off the DLC season for Black Ops 2 on a very good note, and I think that I think this DLC pack may be my favorite ever in Call of Duty history. I think they added a ton of really cool maps, and there's a lot more that I still have yet to talk about. But just looking at the map standpoint, I think this was definitely a really good DLC. And if you're picking it up for just the maps, I would definitely recommend it because for $15 for 4 maps, although it's not for everybody, I think it really adds some replayability and stuff. But then there's a lot of other stuff that we still need to cover too, and the other multiplayer portion of this DLC, of course, is the Peacekeeper. Now, this Peacekeeper has been making a lot of headlines lately because this is the first time in Call of Duty history that they've added actually a new weapon. And that's something I've actually been wanting them to do for a long time, because in Battlefield 3, for the Back to Karkin expansion pack and the Close Quarters DLC, as well as Aftermath with the crossbow, they added new weapons. So actually, you have 20 new guns if you buy Battlefield 3 Premium, which I really liked, and I definitely like that Treyarch took this to Call of Duty, and I hope that this is actually a trend. So every DLC you'll see like a new weapon. I don't know if it'll ever be like as substantial as a Peacekeeper, but I'm hoping that they're gonna have like at least 4 new weapons for Black Ops 2, and maybe in the future you could actually see a weapon pack, and I would really like a weapon pack like this. But the Peacekeeper is actually an SMG that functions a lot like an assault rifle. So it's pretty much an assault rifle that you can run around really fast with and hip fire really good with. And I definitely really enjoy this gun. This is definitely a medium range gun, although it can be pretty good at close quarters if you put the laser sight on there and fire from the hip. You're going to be losing a lot of gunfights against stuff like the Scorpion or the PDW-57, as well as, of course, shotguns like the 870. But you either love or hate this gun. Some of my friends think it needs a buff. Some of my friends think it needs a nerf. So I think that if you're into sort of the medium to long range, more of the assault rifle weapons in Black Ops 2, you're definitely going to want to use the Peacekeeper a lot. But if you actually use SMGs like close range weapons, you're not going to be using the Peacekeeper really that much. I think it's a cool gun to use, and going into it, I think that I'm not going to use it every time I play this game now. I use it a ton because, of course, it was a new weapon. But how long it'll last as my go-to gun, I don't know. I've already started to switch over to some different weapons, but I think all in all, it's a really fun gun to use. And I definitely, in the time it took to get gold, I definitely really enjoyed myself, which I can't say that about every gun I've tried to get gold with. But so that's the Peacekeeper. It's a really cool gun. But then, everybody's asking, how do you get diamond camo? Because diamond camo, for you that don't know, if you get gold with every gun in that class, like SMGs or assault rifles, you get diamond for every single weapon. Now, how do you get diamond with the Peacekeeper? Now, if you already have diamond, gold with all the other SMGs, once you get gold for the Peacekeeper, you automatically unlock it. But if you get gold with all the original SMGs, not counting the Peacekeeper, you'll get diamond for all of the original SMGs. And then, but to get gold with the Peacekeeper, you get diamond. So it's a little bit confusing, but it's a pretty cool system that they worked out. So that's pretty much the details about the Peacekeeper. And as a multiplayer standpoint on Revolution, if you don't play zombies at all, I think you should definitely at least look into this DLC. For 1,500 Microsoft points, it's not cheap, but I definitely enjoyed playing multiplayer with this DLC, and I think that if you didn't get the Season Pass and would want to try out this DLC for $15, I would definitely suggest looking into it. So if you guys like this DLC, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.